Hello and welcome to another Big Finish review. In this review I'll be looking at one of their short trips, this one being The Time Tunnel, released in March 2015, so a year old. Now the short trips have been arranged, I've been wanting to get into really, but the thing what sort of put me off them is that you can only get them in a download format. Obviously they might release them in a CD in a couple of years later, but they haven't confirmed that or anything, so I thought I'd take the plunge and I bought two. I picked up The Time Tunnel and The Other Woman, both Third Doctor stories, because hey, I can't have enough Third Doctor really, because I absolutely love him. And obviously with the announcement of Sheridan Smith and Lucy Miller coming to Big Finish, then returning should I say, in the form of short trips, I thought I'd give them a go and decide whether I should pick up the Lucy Miller one, and I think I probably will pick up the Lucy Miller one out in April, so that's very exciting. Just under a month. I don't know when they're going to release it, probably sometime in April like they say, so that'd be nice. Now what are the short trips, you may be asking? The short trips are 30 minutes to 40 minutes of them. I mean, I'm just going off the time of both stories which I own, you know, The Time Tunnel being 31 minutes and The Other Woman being 40 minutes, so we're between 30-40 minutes, and they're just a nice little adventure. I mean, you could say they're a dramatic reading, but Katie Manning, being the wonderful person that she is, she voices all the characters. I'm not sure if any of the other short trips, I'm sure Fraser Hines is one, he does the Second Doctor and what have you in it, but I can't comment for the rest of them. I can only comment on the Third Doctor ones at this current moment in time, but for the Third Doctor ones, they're very much like a companion chronicle, but without the extra guest, if that makes sense. So obviously this isn't like a standard review where I look at the CD cover and all that, but I'm going to do it anyway because it will just make me feel like I'm doing a normal review. So for the cover art we have for the short trips is pretty simplistic, but I absolutely love the short trips cover. So we have a picture of said Doctor. In this case we have the Third Doctor. It's nice that they've sort of recoloured his jacket because the Third Doctor is renowned for having a different costume in each story, so they've given him that rusty orangey jacket what he wore in the Curse of Paladin and the Time Monster, and then we have the Doctor Who banner, and we have the picture of the Doctor Who intro with the text over there saying the performer, name of the story and the writer. So the covers are very simple, but I absolutely love them. There's something so beautiful about it being so simplistic. So there we are, that's the cover. A rather brilliant cover, I must say, because it's got the wonderful John Pertwee on. So what are my thoughts on The Time Tunnel? Time Tunnel is a fantastic little adventure with Nigel Fares really capturing the unit days, with the Doctor tinkering in the lab and the Brigadier brings in a case to investigate. The story itself has a demon's vibe, with the locals having this superstition within it. This creates a great tale mixing sci-fi with the supernatural. The sound design really does enhance this eerie feel what the story has, with it just using violins for music, and it creates this sharp sound what would just work well within the environment when they're talking about the supernatural stuff and when they enter the tunnel. Now I'm going to talk about characters. Obviously there is only one performer in this, Katie Manning. Now Katie Manning does a wonderful job of voicing the unit regulars, from her Doctor voice to her Benton voice. Each unit personnel in this story, so Benton, Yates, the Brigadier, has equal time within the audio, so that's great, but Nigel Fares has managed to get a bit of balance within it. So now let's talk about the Doctor. Okay, the Third Doctor. Nigel Fares has really captured the Third Doctor brilliantly, even with his mannerisms, from rubbing the back of his neck, and he even gave the Third Doctor a beard. If that's not a selling point, I don't know what is. That's an instant selling point, the Third Doctor with a beard. Now going back to the point of Nigel Fares capturing all sides of the Third Doctor, we get his scientific side, we get his quest for knowledge once he comes back from visiting inside the tunnel. He wants to go back to that place because he's just got that hunger for knowledge. We get his gadgetry side, with him tinkering with Joe's radio and turning it into something different. We get his rebellious side with him sort of protesting with the Brigadier and arguing, so that's great just to have that conflict with the Third Doctor and Brigadier, which they're sort of renowned for, the Third Doctor and Brigadier locking horns within it. And we get his sort of mother hen side, with him caring and looking after Joe, which I just love, because this story itself is a really great representation. Nigel Fares has really captured the chemistry the Third Doctor and Jo have perfectly. Jo, she's brilliant. She's shows her innocence, her caring side by not wanting to leave the Doctor's side. And there's a nice moment at the start that her character, Jo herself, the Doctor's messed her radio up, and she's trying to be angry at the Doctor, but she can't help but laugh and smile, just going, "Oh, Doctor." So it's just a nice little moment, and I think that Nigel Fares did a brilliant job with the first scene, because like Justin Richards, he managed to set the tone of the story and set the pitch. You can easily see this being an actual story in the 70s itself, really. Overall, I think this story has great imagery, and puts great imagery in your head. It has an eerie idea, what happens if you enter a tunnel and you don't appear. And that's always a great idea when you're a kid. You're wondering, are you going to escape the tunnel when you went on a train as a kid? So if you're a fan of the end of the line with Sixth Doctor Last Adventure story, then this is definitely a story you will enjoy. It's got nice little references to previous outings. But my only criticism for this story is that I would have loved this story to be longer. I would like to see this story as a companion chronicle, especially the way this story ended. You can just see the Third Doctor going off to solve this mystery, to see who sent this message and all that. So this story has got a lot of questions set up within this, and not enough answers. So I would have liked a couple of answers. Maybe this story could have been a bit longer. I would have liked to have seen this story explored. Maybe this could be a story explored in the Third Doctor Adventures Volume 2. Hopefully it is, because I would love to know who sent the message and all that. So this story has a lot of answers, a lot of questions, but not enough answers. So I'd like to see where this story goes. But that's my only criticism. Katy Manning, she does an absolutely stellar job. She's superb, brilliant, fantastic. Would I recommend this short trip? Yes, I would recommend it. I would give it 8 Bessies out of 10. It's a superb story. It just captures the 70s brilliant. And if you're a bit strapped for cash and you want a little Third Doctor adventure, then look no further. Get the Time Tunnel. Nice little adventure just to wind down to at night. Doesn't require much concentration, because it's got narration in it, because it's just very much like a companion chronicle, like I said, but without the guest actor within it. And Katy Manning, fantastic impressions, especially her Benton. Her Benton's great, actually. Her Yates is good, her Brigadier, and of course her wonderful John Pertwee impersonation. Absolutely love it. So thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you on my next review, whatever that will be. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.